Yes.
I will start recording now. Give me 1 second while I get it set up.
Hi there, how you doing? My name is Michael and I'm your host avatar today.
Hey, Michael, how are you? I'm David.
David, great to meet you. Thanks. I'm doing great. It's the afternoon, ready to get into the evening, right?
Absolutely.
Well, I believe Genevieve explained the situation you're about to experience to you. Do you have any questions for me before you go into the exercise itself?
No, I don't.
All right. Well, at any point, please feel free to say stop or pause simulation, and I will come back to either answer questions or reflect back on your experience with you. I hope that you enjoy your interaction with Lisa Walker.
Thank you. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, David. Hi, David. Good to see you.
How are you?
Uh, busy, but I like it that way. I'm someone who, it's just better when I've got something to do on my plate, and I think I do it well. So, how about you?
I'm doing great, Lisa. And I do want to say you are. We really appreciate the work that you do, and that you're really an asset to the organization. So thank you.
Thank you.
But the reason I did want to bring you in today, Lisa, and I'll be honest, I sense maybe a little frustration or tension in your voice, because I know that sometimes there's some situations, maybe even individuals that frustrate you. So I just wanted to come in, have a conversation, see how I can support you, maybe give you a couple of ideas, and that's the purpose.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, we should probably cut to the chase, right? I'm sure that this has to do with my interaction with Teo earlier, which, he just, I have to be honest, he just pressed my last button, and I gave him some very direct feedback, letting him know in no uncertain terms that his method of teamwork, whatever you might call it, is just not it's just not effective. It's just not
Okay.
acceptable, quite
Okay.
frankly. It just drives me crazy.
Lisa, tell me a little bit more, if you don't mind. What and yes, I did hear, that there was a little bit of a let's say exchange, but I just want to hear your side. What led up to that from your perspective?
Well, it's just, it was the straw that broke the camel's back, because I had something that I needed from him in order to help out a client, some data that lives with Teo. And so I sent him an email letting him know I need this and I need it quickly. And then, of course, no response. And so then I call, I leave a voicemail, I go by his desk. Of course, he's not by his desk. And this is not, this is not the first time. It seems like all he's ever doing is off socializing. And of course, when I finally went out to the break room, there he was, indeed, chit-chatting about whatever sports ball thing that happened over the weekend. And it just last straw. Just I don't know how he gets work done, quite frankly.
Hmm. So obviously, then you had some words with him, or kind of let him know how you feel.
Absolutely. And and I'll tell you, he had some not so polite things to say back to me either. I quite frankly, I don't know that he even respects me. I don't know if it's because I'm a woman or because I don't want to play his little social games, but I shouldn't have to be, share every personal detail of my life with somebody in a workspace in order to get their cooperation.
Sure, sure, sure. I totally understand. Um, so what do you think needs to happen, or what would you like to see happen next from your perspective?
Well, I mean, I just don't know. I'm kind of at a loss at this point. We just certainly are not getting along well, and I care about this job deeply. So, I don't know if someone needs to talk to him about his work ethic, or what, or if maybe, you know, I can be given what I need to work with my clients without his help. I don't know what, but I just don't want to work with him anymore if I can help it.
Okay. Well, as you know, we are a kind of a smaller organization, and people have to wear a different hat. So again, I understand your frustration. So let's consider this. And just a couple of ideas is that I know how frustrating it can be, but the more you take the emotion out of it, and if we were role playing this, Tail, this is important information that the client needs, and the client needs it by da 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 da. So I would really need you to get me this information by. So you want to be, very specific, and even if you have the verbal conversation, I would follow it up with just to confirm we talked in. And again, just keep it conversational. It doesn't have to be that I don't want to say not like each other, but we want to have the respect. Because sometimes, I get frustrated. That makes you more frustrated, and on goes the cycle. So is that something that you think you could do, that you'd be comfortable with?
I mean, I feel like I do that to a degree already. I mean, yes, like I'm admittedly, it's not as though he hasn't gotten me what I needed by the end of a timeline. It's that he's just so uncommunicative. He doesn't confirm with me that he's heard what I'm saying. It's like he's punishing me because when he says, what did you do this weekend, Lisa? I say I don't really care to discuss that. And he thinks that I'm this cold person, and I just like to keep my work and private life separate. And so I feel like I'm being very professional about it, and doing my best to keep, to get those confirmations, set those expectations clearly. But then he's just, I feel like it's not fair, like he won't just do me the professional courtesy of saying, yes, I got this email. I don't have time to do this right now, but I will have it by this time or something, whatever.
Okay. No, I think that's reasonable. I will tell you, Lisa, I am gonna, have a conversation, with Tail, similar to the conversation that I'm having with you.
Okay.
And again, at the end of the day, we're not pointing fingers, placing blame. We want to make sure our customers are being taken care of, and
Absolutely.
in order for that to happen, we have to make sure we're taking care of our internal customers. So. Um, why don't we stop today? Again, I do really appreciate your coming in.
Okay.
Continue doing what you're doing. And if you have a bit of frustration or whatever, my door is always open. Come in and let's chat. But I tell you what I will do is I'll have a conversation, with Tail. Um,
Mhm.
and then perhaps, and we won't go there yet, but perhaps I might want to bring the two of you in together, and then we can, collectively and as a group, come to some agreements and understandings, and move forward, going forward. How does that sound?
Yeah. Yes, of course. As long as you're there to mediate, I'm willing to have that conversation. Yes.
Perfect. And you know what? I won't have to mediate. It'll be a conversation. So fantastic. Well, thanks a lot for coming in. Keep up the good work and smile.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you.
See you later.
All right. Great job, David. So this is a chance when a learner would get an opportunity to really reflect about their experience that they just had.
Hmm.
So to that end, what do you feel went well in your interaction with Lisa?
Well, I tried to be a good listener. I wanted to hear her perspective, and let her, because I could sense, even when she walked in, the frustration and still probably some of that anger that took place. So the first thing was diffuse and let her talk. So listening.
Absolutely.
At that point, kind of making some suggestions. So I thought that was really the best thing that I did starting off.
Yeah, absolutely. You asked a lot of open-ended questions, so you could really elicit her point of view around there, especially when it comes to a conflict. Being able to get both points of view in a non-judgmental way is a best practice. So you really seem to elicit a lot of information from her on her pain points and why she reacted the way she did.
Mhm.
Now, if you were going to do something differently the next time you were in this situation, what other tactics might you employ?
Maybe I would have gotten right to the point a little quicker. I again wanted to start broad and let's bring it in. And she said, well, let's get right to the point. This is about tail. So in reflecting back, maybe it's Lisa, we're in here today because obviously there was a concern with tail. So maybe getting to the point a little bit quicker.
That's a great observation. Even just setting up expectations or setting an agenda at the front end of the meeting so that you know that everything's above board and she feels comfortable and knowing, especially if you make it clear this is a non-punitive conversation, this is just to really understand what's going on more, etc., that could really win over some rapport quickly. I also wonder if you think that it would have made a difference to have taken time with Lisa in order to try to get her to apply some empathy towards Teo. What do you think Teo's feelings are in these circumstances? How do you feel, how might you have felt in similar circumstances, et cetera, things like that? Do you think that might have achieved more buy-in towards the end?
I agree with that. Yes, because uh, the fact that someone says, well, how is your day or your weekend? They're not necessarily asking you about personal information. And oh, it was great. How was yours? So it seems like the way she responded could have even aggravated the situation. So I agree with you that, yeah, getting her to show a little bit more empathy and understanding is something I could have probably done better. Thank you for that feedback.
Of course. All right. Well, I'm going to hand you back over to Genevieve. Thanks so much for participating in the demo today.
Perfect. Peace out.
Peace out.
All right.